We are live, sir.
Sir, just be very. Oh, because we have to start the event live, no? That's the reason I didn't want that. That's cheating.
যাতে দেখতে না পায় মুখটি যাতে দেখতে না পায়
Selva makes your
বাস চলো চলো
live streaming.
Chal raha na? We can go live.
Everyone, on behalf of
Ask them whether we are live.
We are live, sir. We are live.
good. Good afternoon, everyone. On behalf of Ministry of Education and the AICT, I, Dr. Ilangovan, Assistant Innovation Director, Innovation Cell, Ministry of Education, extending a warm welcome to Chief Guest of today's function, Honorable Minister of State for Education, Dr. Subhash Sarkar, sir, Vice Chairman AICT, Professor M.P. Puria, sir, Member Secretary AICT, Professor Rajiv Kumar, sir, Chief Innovation Officer, Ministry of Education Innovation Cell, Dr. Abhay Jare, sir, Mr. Deepan, and officers from different states, different ministries, vice chancellors, directors, principals, faculty, and students from higher education institutions and schools across the country joined for the online program today for the concluding ceremony of Symposium on Building Innovation and Entrepreneurial Ecosystem in Education Institutions. With this brief note, now I would like to invite Honorable Vice Chairman, Sir, AICT, Professor M.P. Puria, sir, to deliver the welcome address.
Namaskar to all our distinguished guests, eminent experts and academicians, head of the institutions, faculty, students, coordinators, and all who have joined with us in this two-day event, 11th and 12th January, Symposium on Building Innovation Ecosystem in Education Institutes. It is our proud privilege to have Dr. Subhash Sarkar, Honorable Minister of State, Minister of Education, as chief guest with us today. Dr. Rajiv, Member Secretary of AICT, Dr. Abhay Jare, who is the leading personality in this innovation in the country, and very strong environment, strong vibrations it has been created in whole country. And this innovation, it has become a very, very strong pillar of the country. We are leading ahead. We are going ahead with a very rapid pace. Today, we are celebrating 20th January. It's a very special and distinctive day, as celebrated as National Youth Day in honor of Swami Vivekananda's birthday. An eminent educationist and management expert who have emphasized on man-making, character building, and nation building. He always believes that a nation is future depends on its people, the youth, and the inspired them to have a confident attitude. युवा ही पहुंचाएंगे भारत को विश्व के शिखर तक, ये मैसेज था स्वामी विवेकानंद जी का. Today, our Honorable Prime Minister Narendra Modi ji virtually inaugurated the 25th National Youth Festival in Pondicherry, with focus on shaping youth, its mind, and transforming them into a united force for nation building. As we are all know that Azadi Ka Amrit Mahotsav celebrations were inaugurated by the Honorable Prime Minister on 12th March 2021, which marked as a 75-week countdown to the 75th anniversary of India's independence on 15th August 2022, and will continue for a year after till 15th August 2023. It is fortunate that Ministry of Education, AICT, and Ministry of Commerce and Industry have jointly organized this National Innovation Week from 10th to 16th of January 2022 under AKAAM, showcasing the celebrating entrepreneurship and promotion innovation. The event brought together country's key startups, entrepreneurs, investors, incubators, funding entities, banks, policymakers, etc. And AICT has identified some 75 prominent startups who are the future in the country, and even funding also it has been initiated. Yesterday, we have announced our Smart India Hackathon 2022 also, where entries it has been started. So all these startups, the outcome of these startups, the Institute Innovation Councils which we are having, MHRD Innovation Cell which we are having, all efforts which are being done, it is giving a strong result. And we are fortunate enough that many ministries are joining hands all together. And coming down this DPIIT with us, it's a strong mark in the forward achievements of this innovation. The two-day event which we had began yesterday on 11th January, that is inaugurated by Chief Guest Sri Rajkumar Ranjanji, Honorable Minister of State for External Affairs and Education, Government of India, along with Sri K. Sanjay Murthy, our Secretary, Department of Higher Education, Srimati Anita Karwal, Secretary, Department of School Education and Literacy, Sri Rakesh Ranjanji, Additional Secretary, MOE, Professor Anil D. Sastrabudhe, Chairman, AICT, Dr. Abhay Zere, Chief Innovation Officer, Innovation Cell, Ministry of Education, Government of India, Professor Rajiv Kumar, Member Secretary, AICT, all were present, and it has been inaugurated yesterday. During the 2 days sessions, we had important personalities like Professor K. Vijay Raghavan, Principal Scientific Advisor, Government of India, Dr. K. Radhakrishnan, ex-chairman ISRO, Sri B.V.R. Mohan Reddy, Executive Chairman, and others during the sessions on innovation, human values, and sustainability, and highlighted innovation practices in higher educational institutes. As emphasized by our chairman AICT, that this symposium will further encourage our educational institutes to focus on building innovation ecosystem within their campuses. This festival of innovation and culture will pave the way for making Atmanirbhar Bharat and a $5 trillion economy as envisaged by Honorable Prime Minister Shri Narendra Modi ji. It was magnificent to note that this virtual event has 91,000 plus number of viewership across, with the target audience being in the age group of 18 to 24 years, very young population of the country. They have joined in this, and around 26% being in the age group of 25 to 44 years. More than 10,000 institutions, that is including students, their faculty, stakeholders, joined the event. We had a viewership of 45.4% of females and 54.6% of male viewership, and also the event had an international outreach with viewership from UK, UAE, Nepal. From this, we can determine that our youth has an innovative mindset and just have to be guided by giving the right platform for our budding entrepreneurs. Hackathons means national and international month-end Toy Business League, National Innovation Contest are such beautiful initiatives and collaborative competition among students. A crosstalk and effective dialogue is a must between technical institutes, management, social, and for converting innovations into entrepreneurship and leading to a self-resilient India, Atmanirbhar Bharat. First set of problem statements, as I mentioned earlier, for Smart India Hackathon 2022, 250 plus problem statements announced yesterday will tinkle young minds to come forward with innovative solutions. And Honorable Minister, sir, now schools are also participating. It's a wonderful integration of school education, higher education, even children from skilling institutes also, they'll be joining. So vocational education, school education, higher education, technical education, everything, it has been integrated. We have started innovation ambassador training programs in CBSE schools also. As on date, around 13,000 school ambassadors in schools, it has been trained, and probably they'll be changing the shape of the country in innovation. Government of India's initiative to boost patent filing is a move in this direction, and we have seen our renowned team of experts from industry and academia share their experiences and guiding principle for a sustainable innovation, so that the objective of National Education Policy 2020 are achieved. Last but not least, the extending my regards and thanks our chief guests and our dignitaries, all the officers and team of MIC and AICT to have successfully executed this event and lighting the path of our young generation on innovation entrepreneurship. Jai Bharat, Jai Hind, Dhanyavad.
Thank you, sir, for your warm welcome address and motivating us in implementing various schemes at the AICT. Thank you, sir. Now I request Mr. Deepan Shagu, Assistant Innovation Director, MIC, to provide a summary of the symposium.
Thank you, Dr. Allen. Honorable Minister of State, Minister of Education, Dr. Subhash Sarkar sir, Vice Chairman, AICT, Professor MP Punia sir, Member Secretary, AICT, Professor Rajiv Kumar Sir, Chief Innovation Officer, Minister of Education, Innovation Cell, Dr. Abhay Jere Sir, all officials of Ministry of Education and AICT, and all viewers. Namaskar and very good evening to all. I will take this opportunity to give you a brief summary of the series of activities and sessions we have conducted as part of this 2 days long e-symposium on building innovation and startup ecosystem in educational institutions. This e-symposium is being organized as part of the Innovation Week in collaboration with DPIIT, Ministry of Commerce and Industry, Government of India, to celebrate 75 years of Progressive India Azadi Ka Amrit Mahotsav. Innovation Week started on 10th of January and it will continue till 16th of January. Side by side, an e-exhibition is also going on, and in that exhibition, 75 innovative technologies with startup potential are supported by Ministry of Education and AICT are also exhibiting in that exhibition. So the inauguration of the e-symposium held on 11th January in the morning hour, Honorable Minister of State Dr. R.R. Singh Sir has joined as a chief guest, along with gracious presence of Secretary School Education, Secretary Higher Education, Additional Secretary Technical Education, Secretary DPIIT, Chairman AICT, and other eminent persons. In the inauguration session, Manthan winners and 75 innovations selected for funding supports were announced and appreciated. Honorable Minister of State has also launched a short video on Journey of Hackathon and first batch of problem statements for Smart India Hackathon 2022 also released. Post inauguration in the afternoon, the first keynote was delivered by Sri Sridhar Vembu, founder of Zoho Corporation, and he talked on recent trends of emergence of startups from third-tier cities and rural setup, and how these startups are solving the social problems of our country. And he has cited his Zoho Corporation as an example, also said his entrepreneurship journey, that how he has succeeded from that startup emerged from a third-tier city. Followed by the first panel discussion was held on innovation, human values, and sustainability. And the eminent panelists were Sri Harshit Rathore, co-founder of Naker Robotics, Sri Vikas Maitri-Sen, founder and managing director of Nazara Technologies, Sri Srikant Badwe, managing director of Badwe Industries, and the session was moderated by Professor Anil D. Sahasrabudhe, chairman of AICT. The session was deliberated upon the various aspects and facets of innovation, human values, and sustainability, and connecting the dots and bridging the link between innovation, human values, and sustainability. These are three core elements of the development. The second keynote session was delivered by Sri Gautam, founder of Far Eye Private Tech Limited, a Sunikan in the logistics sector. He emphasized upon the scopes for the startups with proper amalgamation of and use of fourth and fifth industrial revolution technologies and service innovations to cater the human needs effectively and efficiently. Followed by the second panel discussion held on the theme of best innovation and startup practices from in our higher educational institutions. The eminent educationist and policy practitioners such as Professor Abhay Karandikar, Director IIT Kanpur, Professor A.B. Pandit, Vice Chancellor ICT Mumbai, Sri Rahul Nair, Vice President Invest India, Sri Rajendra Ratnu, Joint Secretary DPIIT and CGPT-TM. And the session was moderated by eminent scientist Dr. K. Radhakrishnan, ex-chairman of ISRO. The panel was deliberated upon the current practices in higher educational institutions and highlighted that the collaboration, consortium, and connect approach should be adopted in the higher education institutions while planning, creating, and building the innovation and startup ecosystem in their campuses. And by this, and after that, the first day was concluded. Today, the 12th January, the day started with the third keynote session addressed by Professor K. Vijay Raghavan, Sir, Principal Scientific Advisor, Government of India. he focused on research and development and technology transfer efforts in our education institutions and also highlighted innovation in our country during the post-pandemic period. The third panel discussion was a very interesting one, as that panel consisting of the young entrepreneurs and early stage startup founders, though they have focused on different areas that how they have struggled in during the academic period, and also they have worked on their innovations and finally developed a very successful startup. And the panelists are the panelists are the Yes Bharadwaj, an young innovator, Sri Harsh Nikhara, CEO and founder of Novarvis Private Limited, Ms. Sefali Vinod Ramteke, founder and CEO of the PS1925, Ms. Neelam Bhaire, founder of WeWek Indgreen Private Limited. And this panel was moderated by Sri Uday Wankewala, CEO of Atal Incubation Center, Rambahu Mahalgi Prabodhini. Then the fourth keynote address was delivered by Sri Ankit Agrawal, who is the founder and CEO of the Full Private Limited. And he focused on how the social entrepreneurship can be pursued and also still it can be profitable to survive. Then we started the last panel discussion, the fourth panel discussion on attracting big investment for innovative ideas from educational institutions. And the eminent industrialist, Dr. Anand Deshpande, founder and managing director of Persistent Systems, Ms. Sridevi Pankajam, managing director of Commonwealth Bank of Australia, Sri C.V. Raman, chief technology officer, Maruti Suzuki India Limited, where they have provided the valuable inputs, suggestions, and recommendations how the higher educational institutions and the innovations from these institutions can attract investors and a conducive climate can be developed in our educational institutions so that these innovators will get handholding support and also guidance and funding support from the investors community. This session was moderated by Padma Shri BBR Mohan Reddy, Executive Chairman of SINT, and the suggestions we have now with us, and we will start working on these suggestions provided by these industrialists. Then just before this concluding ceremony that we are conducting now, before this we had a panel discussion, and which was very, very interesting because the panelists were the school students and college students, those have developed in innovation, and also the winner of the Smart India Hackathon and Toy Hackathon, and also they bagged certain awards from DST and DBT. So these student kids and the college students, they have focused on the crossroads and also how they have struggled during their school time and also motivated themselves enough to convert these innovations, and also they have achieved to a level. Now they're looking to take their journey as an entrepreneur rather than going for a job. So this is the kind of mindset changes that are happening in our institutions. And finally, we are in the last phase of our 2 days symposium and closing ceremony, and I will request and hand over to Dr. Elangovan to take the things forward. Thank you.
Thank you, Deepan, for summarizing various sessions and panel discussions held during last 2 days of the symposium. On behalf of AICT and Ministry of Education, hearty thanks to all the experts, keynote speakers, moderators, and panelists for sparing their valuable time and enriching the participants with their rich experience. Thank you all. I would now like to invite Chief Guest of today's function, Honorable Minister of State for Education, Dr. Subhash Sarkar sir, to address the participants.
Namaskar. Warm greetings to all. Sri Rakesh Ranjan ji, Additional Secretary, Ministry of Education, Professor M.P. Punia ji, who is an eminent person for this program, Vice Chairman AICT, Dr. Abhay Jere, who is also a very important person for organization of this event, Chief Innovation Officer, Ministry of Education, Professor Rajiv Kumar ji, Member Secretary AICT, offers all these officers from the Ministry of Education and also DPIIT, I would like to extend warm greetings to all the distinguished dignitaries, officers, and staff of the Ministry of Education, Ministry of Commerce and Industry, the faculty members, and also students, especially present here virtually. My dear friends, first of all, I would like to congratulate AICTE and the Ministry of Education's Innovation Cell for organizing this e-symposium on building innovation and entrepreneurial ecosystem in educational institutions. This is very important according to our National Education Policy 2020. I would like to extend my warm regards and wishes to the Ministry of Education, AICTE, and also the Ministry of Commerce, DPIIT, for jointly celebrating National Innovation Week. I am very glad to be present here today. Dear friends, we have gathered to appreciate the discussions which are helpful for the betterment of the youth and for the development of the country. Today, on the auspicious occasion of National Youth Day, I would like to share some precious thought of Swami Vivekananda ji. As different streams having their sources in different places, all mingle their waters in the sea. So, O Lord, the different paths which men take through different tendencies, various though they appear crackle or straight, all lead to thee. We may belong to different domains or fields, but our sole purpose is to uplift our nation, to strengthen our Bharat. Dear friends, in this event, eminent industry leaders, emerging unicorn founders, investors, and policy practitioners have joined as keynote speaker and panelist. Just few minutes back, Rajiv Kumar ji has told this is in details. I comment that they have shared their insightful as well as thought-provoking views and perspectives on different aspects of innovation and startup. I would like to mention that special panel session were also organized during these 2 days, where panelists from early stage startup founders and student innovators joined to motivate young minds to pursue innovation and entrepreneurship as a career choice. Dear friends, as all we know that Azadi Ka Amrit Mahotsav is an initiative taken by our Honorable Prime Minister Sri Narendra Modi ji to celebrate and praise 75 years of progressive India and the glorious history of our people, culture and achievements. This Mahotsav is aiming to enable Prime Minister Modi ji's vision of activating India 2.0, fueled with the spirit of Atmanirbhar Bharat. An initiative like Innovation Week will inspire us to work collaboratively to realize the dream of our Honorable Prime Minister Sri Narendra Modi ji for New India and Atmanirbhar Bharat with our concerted efforts. Research and industry should go hand in hand. The industry should be accessible to researchers, and a conducive environment should be created to augment the research and development facilities within the industries. In the current situation, a great example of this is the pharmaceutical industry. As an effective weapon in fighting the pandemic, India prepared its own vaccine and made it available to the people, not only limited to our own country, but to other nations as well. Also, the vaccine dosage reached the messages, reached the masses. Approximately more than 150 crore people got their first jab in the past few months. This is what the vision of Atmanirbhar Bharat is, to build a self-reliant India by being dependent on yourself. The meaning of yourself here is not limited to oneself only. That is, I want to me. Self means we, our society, our country. My dear friends, as India is emerging as a hub of global startup, it's heartening to see that we are supporting, encouraging, and motivating our young entrepreneurs and innovators who are part of the Ministry of Education Innovation Cell. Multiple initiatives such as the National Innovation Contest, Smart India Hackathon, YUKTI 2.0 to promote the culture of ideation and innovations and venture development within higher educational institutions. Ministry's Innovation Cell and AICT have identified 75 innovative technologies developed by student or the faculty members having startup potential and not only receiving mentoring and incubation support, but are also being financially supported with seed funds of up to rupees 10 lakhs from MIC and AICTE. As our Honorable Prime Minister said that India should emerge as a world leader in the post-COVID global order and surge ahead with a focused approach, setting new targets for ourselves in 2047. Each such initiative will have strong positive implications. Dear friends, when India is facing external challenges from hostile neighbors and internal security challenges of the 21st century, organizing a dedicated hackathon, Manthan 2021, is a very welcoming step. Along with the Bureau of Police Research and Development, the initiative taken by the Innovation Cell of the Ministry of Education and AICT has not only given a platform to our innovative minds to find indigenous solutions to tackle security challenges, but also offered a strong, safe, and effective technology solutions using their technical expertise and innovative skills to our country. On this occasion, I congratulate all winners of Manthan. I hope that the winning solutions are taken forward and get implemented in the field. We need Indian institutions to reorient their mindset and build ecosystems to encourage high quality research, innovation, and entrepreneurship in their campuses, which will be linked to commercialization and technology transfer. Dear friends, recently we have related the ARIIA 2021 ranking. I was glad to be part of that event. ARIA ranking is an attempt to systematically rank all major higher educational institutions in India on which indicators? Yes, that indicators are related to innovation, startup, and entrepreneurship development. ARIA is also giving a huge push to innovation in our higher education institutions. Dear friends, NEP 2020 aims to strengthen the new learning paradigm through the adoption of new education technologies or developing available in-house skills. National Education Policy 2020 has laid special focus on the use of technology in the teaching learning process. It emphasizes online learning with proper support of digital infrastructure and bridging the present digital gap. Our goal is to promote innovation, entrepreneurship, critical thinking, and out of the box thinking in our educational system, which is also reflected in the new National Education Policy 2020. We have introduced these concepts at the school level through a collaborative effect of our innovation cell, AICT, and CBS. We have rolled out the vast training program for school teachers and under the School Innovation Ambassador Training Program and the subsequent establishment of the School Innovation Council. These are very ambitious programs to establish a vibrant innovation and entrepreneurial ecosystem in the schools, which will enable us to move forward with the skills of the 21st century, which Prime Minister Sri Narendra Modi ji quoted as 5 C's of 21st century. What are those C's? Yes, C's are critical thinking, creativity, collaboration, curiosity, and communication. With such initiatives, we are working towards ensuring the reach of the innovation and entrepreneurial ecosystem could also be made to our school education as well. Friends, our government is committed to enhancing the Indian economy and working tirelessly to achieve India's goal of becoming $5 trillion economy by 2024-25, facilitating investment, fostering innovation, building best in class infrastructure, and making India a hub for manufacturing. Design and innovation are some key priorities of our government. Under Vocal for Local initiatives that exposed India's manufacturing domain to the world and to employ a large pool of our young labor force. Our government is doing everything possible to build a strong base for Atmanirbhar Bharat. The time has come when every ministry, government, department, industry leaders, and all key stakeholders work collaboratively and support our higher education institutions so that they work on creating a holistic culture of innovation, research, and help in nurturing young talent to pursue their dreams as an innovators and solve the problems faced by society and address upcoming challenges. That means innovation and research on demand basis. This is also very important part. That is for the demand of the society. As we know, necessity is the mother of invention or innovation. On the same lines, I would like to say that researches should be done according to the needs and demands of the society, along with fulfilling the basic needs of society. It will also work for social upliftment. I would like to add that more than quantity, The schools, institutes, universities should focus on the quality of innovations and research. This will help us to achieve the Atmanirbhar Bharat in the true sense. I would conclude my words by sharing a thought from Upanishads, which implies the thought of desire will deed and destiny. You are what your deed driving desire is. As your desire is, so is your will. As your will is, so is your deed. As your deed is, so is your destiny. I once again congratulate all the participants of the e-symposium, the moderators especially, all the panelists, the organizers, the name of whom I have already told, and especially the innovators. Bharat Mata ki Jai. बहुत बहुत धन्यवाद.
Thank you, sir. It was a motivating address. I'm sure all the participants will be inspired and motivated by your energetic speech. So I extend a sincere thank on behalf of AICT and Ministry of Education for honorable sincere thanks to Ministry of State of Education for sparing your valuable time from your busy schedule to grace this occasion. Thank you, sir. Now I would like to invite Member Secretary, AICT, Professor Rajiv Kumar sir, to deliver the vote of thanks.
Namaskar. Sir, before delivering formal vote of thanks, I, on behalf of AICT and MIC cell, will like to extend wishes, good wishes to all those who are connected through this program on this auspicious day, that is National Youth Day, sir. Honorable Minister of State, Ministry of Education, Government of India, and Chief Guest of today's program, Dr. Subhash Sarkarji, Vice Chairman of AICTE, Professor MP Puniaji, Chief Innovation Officer, Dr. Abhay Jadeji, officers and officials from Ministry of Education and AICTE, and dear participants. First of all, I, on behalf of AICTE and MIC, would like to thank Honorable Minister Shri Subhash Sarkarji for his gracious presence and address to participants on the valedictory function of e-symposium on innovation and entrepreneurial ecosystem in education. Sir, your words are going to motivate the young innovators and help in inculcating an ecosystem of innovation and entrepreneurship in the country. Thank you very much, sir, for your blessings. I will also like to thank Honorable Minister of State, Ministry of Education, Government of India, Dr. Rajkumar Ranjanji, for his kind and motivating words during inauguration of the symposium. My special thanks to Professor K. Vijay Raghavanji, Principal Scientific Advisor, Government of India, and Dr. K. Radhakrishnanji, ex-chairman ISRO, for their words of wisdom and advice to young innovators and researchers. Thank you very much, sir. I will also extend my sincere gratitude to Srimati Anita Karwalji, Secretary School Education, Shri Anurag Jainji, Secretary DPIIT, Shri Sanjay Murthy, Secretary Higher Education, Shri Anil Sahasrabuddhe, Chairman AICTE, Shri Rakesh Ranjanji, Additional Secretary Higher Education, for their valuable guidance and support at all stages for making this event a success. Thank you, sir. Thank you very much, sir. My sincere thanks to Shri BVR Mohan Reddy ji, Executive Chairman, Saint Shri Sridhar Vemulu ji, Founder, Joe Corporation, Shri Gautam ji, Founder for I Private Limited, and Shri Ankit Agrawal ji, Founder and CEO, Fool, for their valuable suggestions and guidance. Sir, 4 keynote addresses and 5 panel discussions were conducted during these 2 days. A large number of CEOs, founders, co-founders, academicians, policymakers, and students participated in these discussions. I would like to extend my thanks to all of them for sparing their precious time, sharing their experiences, and participating in the discussions. Thank you to all. Sir, we got more than 1.2 lakh views on inauguration session. I will like to extend my thanks to all the viewers for connecting with us. I will also like to thank our media friends for covering this event extensively. At last, but not the least, I will like to thank our teams at MIC, AICT, and the ministry level for working day and night despite health issues and making this event a grand success. Thank you very much, sir. Namaskar. Jai Bharat.
Thank you, sir, for delivering vote of thanks and guiding us in implementing various initiatives at AICT. Thank you, sir. Once again, I thank all the dignitaries and the participants from various parts of the country joined for this program and making this program a grand success. Thank you once again. Thank you all. Jai Hind. We can disconnect.